Welcome to the Macro Expat Podcast. Ladies and gentlemen, damas y caballeros,
Hello.
sehr geehrte Damen und Herren. Welcome from Asuncion, Paraguay, with my special guest, Denys Merkulov. Thank you for your time. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Christian.
Bienvenido.
Gracias, señor.
Yeah, we're here in downtown Asuncion at the Time Capsule Hotel. I forgot the name of the hotel, but yeah, it's a pleasure to have you. And today we're going to talk about your story, which is a fascinating story. Yeah, and also for our listeners at home, Denys will provide a free resource as part of this podcast. We will reveal what that will be later, but everybody who comes on the Macro Expat Podcast will provide a free resource to our listeners. And since we're all about freedom, we want to add value to our listeners by giving them, tools and resources to succeed in a world that's becoming less and less free. So anyway, Denys, welcome once again.
Thank you very much.
And we've been spending the last few days together. We met in Canada. Maybe, do you remember how we met?
I think it was a year ago. We met each other through our mutual friend. And I think it was after one of the events, real estate events. We met each other in a restaurant.
Yes.
And
the Fat Fork. I think.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I remember we got together. We got connected very fast because we had so much in common.
That's right. And now you live in Asuncion, Paraguay.
Yeah. And I would like to say thank you for you because you're one of the persons who advised me to go to Paraguay.
Mm-hmm.
I heard about Paraguay back then, but I was skeptical.
Mm-hmm.
And before I went to Paraguay, I remember we had a dinner where you advised me to go to Paraguay to check it out because you already have your residency here.
Temporary,
but soon to be permanent. Yeah,
true.
And I think because of you, I'm here.
Okay, salud to that.
So today we drink yerba mate. It's mixed with some herbs. I don't remember the name, but it's just a mix.
Well, you're turning into a yerba mate connoisseur.
Yeah.
It's something I'm getting used to. So I'm starting to like it more and more and more. Mm-hmm. But yeah, thank you for your kind words, and I'm glad you were able to make the decision to move here, and now you've been living here for how long?
So I've been here in January. I spent here 3 weeks. I applied for my residency, and at that time I made a decision to move here completely. Unfortunately, I had some things to do in Canada. I came back to Canada, applied for my Canadian citizenship, and decided to leave Canada completely and move to Paraguay and create my new life here.
So, okay, so we kind of skipped a couple of steps, but basically I met you in Canada, you lived in Canada.
Yeah.
Now you're obviously here, you're moving 100 miles an hour, which we will talk about later. And I think that's the most fascinating part about your story is how quickly you've been able to adapt, how quickly you've been able to move to a completely different country, in a country most people don't know anything about.
Yeah.
And to establish yourself in such a short period of time, have such a great network of people around you. But we will talk about that later. But so how did you? So you obviously you were not born in Canada.
No.
So we met in Canada. You've already left Canada, but where did you come from, and why did you move to Canada?
Okay, so I was born in 1999 in
999
in 90s. I'm from 90s in the city which is called Khmelnytsky. It's a western part of Ukraine. It's around, I believe, 5 to 6 hours drive to the Polish border. So I'm from western part of Ukraine.
Okay.
My mother is originally from Russia, and my father is originally from Ukraine. But you know what? My story is I'm mixed. So even though my mother was born in Russia, she had relatives in Ukraine and Belarus, and even though my father is Ukrainian, he has some relatives in Russia, and I have like a Russian surname, so I'm kind of like mixed up. But I was born and raised in Ukraine, and I always name him like Ukrainian. Call myself Ukrainian.
And you and this is more of a technical fact, but like, did you enter Canada and or Paraguay with your Ukrainian passport?
Yes.
Okay, because that's kind of plays a role in the bigger picture, right?
Yes.
So you came with you moved to Canada with your Ukrainian passport, and then you were able to apply for Canadian citizenship after 5 years?
It's a little more than 4.5.
4.5 years?
Yes.
Okay. And then you were also, and we will get back to that portion, but I think it's important to know for some listeners that you used your Ukrainian passport to enter Paraguay and apply for the residency. Okay, that's very interesting. So I don't know too much about your story, why you moved to Canada. I think a lot of people at home will think that you left because of the war, but maybe you can tell us, why did you leave in the first place, and why did you choose Canada? Because that's also very important to know.
Yes. So as you know, the like wars in the world, they don't start like in one day, right? There are some like crises in the country, some fights, some situations, right? Where you can predict that something can happen. So actually, the actual war in Ukraine with Russia started in 2014 when Russia annexed Crimea.
Crimea, yes, I remember that.
Yes. So the war started back then.
Technically, yeah.
Technically, yeah. And then from Crimea, the war started at Donbass region. So Russia occupied some territories, and I believe around 2016, 2017, I don't remember like exactly. Back then, the war was like paused, you know? So like, it was a kind of like ceasefire agreement.
Yeah, which in this day and age, nobody really knows what that even means anymore.
Yeah, but back then, it was like the new borders were created.
Yeah.
But still, Ukraine didn't allow Russia to capture it like completely, right? Like Ukraine always said that like, no, even though you captured these territories, it's still Ukraine.
So basically what you're saying is that you saw the trend, you identified the red flags, and it was just a matter of time until things would escalate.
Yeah, and then like the situation in the country wasn't very stable. I was learning English, and
so how like, I don't remember exactly when the war started, but when exactly did you move to Canada? How much time was it in between your move and the start of the war?
4 months.
4 months. Wow, that's crazy.
So I left Canada on November 2nd, and the war started on February 24th.
So had you waited, 4 more months, let's say, or longer, then there would have been a risk to get stuck in Ukraine. And
100%.
Yeah.
So it was just a sheer luck.
Well, not sheer luck. I think I know what you mean, but basically how do I put this into words? You dodged the war and potentially fighting and dying for your country by like 4 months. That's crazy. That's intense.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad you were able to do that, and no offense to any Ukrainians listening that maybe think that you should have stayed and fought for your motherland. I don't want to get into that. This podcast and this show is all about freedom. Fundamentally, we don't believe in any type of war or violence. So I would have done the same thing. I hope I would have done the same thing. I would have tried to do the same thing. But so yeah, you moved to Canada. Why Canada at that time? So the year was
2022, I left Canada, but I was preparing for this trip, I think, for 2 years. You know, my first,
Okay.
yeah.
But why did you choose Canada? And what other options did you have?
So I was thinking, I had two options, United States and Canada,
Okay.
actually. But I chose Canada very quickly because of the number of Ukrainians that live in Canada. So I knew, for example, even if I moved to Canada having nothing, even when I speak Ukrainian or Russian, I'm gonna find some help amongst my compatriots.
That's fair.
And also the immigration system. It was a little bit easier to immigrate to Canada and get Canadian citizenship rather than United States.
Yeah, that's true.
Because I didn't know that whether I'm gonna live in Canada for a long time or not. I knew that it's easier to come to Canada and it's easier to stay there. It's not very easy to get documents, right? To legalize, to get legalized in Canada, but it's definitely much easier than United States.
Okay. And did it work out the way you expected it? Or how did the journey, like your first, I mean, you've been in Paraguay now for 3 weeks. So how were the first 3 weeks in Canada? Did it, were your expectations met? Did it work out the way you expected it, or was it completely different?
Before coming to Canada, I had zero expectations because I traveled in Europe, right? But everything I imagined, it was just pictures from movies, because usually like Hollywood is in Canada, in United States. So I had just pictures in my mind of the movies, like streets, just like regular life. And it was hard, honestly, because I'm not from very rich family. My parents are military. They provided some help. They supported my trip to Canada, and they did their best financially and just like as a support. Before my trip, I had some money. I was like, I remember like $4,000 or $5,000, but it was, I think it was like a crypto crash, and I had some. I invested in crypto.
Yeah, I think a lot of people can relate to that.
I think it was 2021, something like that. When the crypto crashed,
after the bull cycle.
Yeah, and I had leverage, So I lost. So I crashed from $5,000 to $1,000.
Ouch.
And I was supposed to go to Canada back then. So I mean, in my thought, I have right now $5,000. I need to make a little bit more money and I could pay for my college. I had this thought, but then the crypto crashed and I had $1,000 American dollars and my ticket to Canada. So I come to Canada with $1,000 and visa for, I remember it was supposed to be 2 years at the beginning, but I didn't pay for the college because I didn't have money. So at the border, the immigration officer, he kind of like shortened my stay from 2 years to half a year because I didn't pay for my college. I only paid for my language school.
Ooh.
Yes.
I didn't know that was even a thing.
Yes.
So that's something that he had the decision to make. He was able to make that decision just on the fly based on whatever you presented.
Yes.
That's very interesting.
So I started like in a very different way than I was expecting.
Okay. So 3 weeks into 3 weeks into your new life in Canada, and I don't want to talk about Paraguay too much right now, but if you compare how you felt emotionally and just in general 3 weeks into your stay in Canada versus 3 weeks into Paraguay, how could you compare the two?
My first time coming to Canada, to Paraguay, or right now when I moved completely?
No, now when you move completely.
This time I moved to Paraguay with a clear plan, because I already had the job in the real estate office in Remax. So I already knew that I'm gonna work here I had a clear path, clear goal. I had my apartment booked. I had everything settled and people waiting for me here. And in Canada, I just had a friend of my friend who helped me first months, and then I did everything by my own.
Which is, I'm sure that was a valuable experience for you, right?
That's why I wasn't afraid to move to a new country, because I already experienced one immigration when I was 22 years old. And that's why, you grow as a man. You have hardships, you have lots of experiences, and every time you do something new, you have less and less fear because you've done it lots of times in the past.
So how much time did you spend in Canada before you moved to, actually not even moved, how much time did you spend in Canada until you decided to explore this option? Like the first time you came here?
I'm going to tell you something. Paraguay was a recent thing. I was thinking to go to Colombia.
Colombia?
Colombia.
Ah, qué bueno.
Yeah, because I had a ex-girlfriend from Colombia, a couple of friends. And for me, Colombia was my next destination.
That was on the top of your list.
I was thinking to move to Colombia.
That's very interesting.
Yes. And I was choosing between moving to Colombia or Paraguay, and I chose Paraguay.
So you didn't spend much time in Canada, and that's kind of what I want to get into, is, in my opinion, or in maybe the average Joe on the street, they probably think, okay, you moved from, a country that probably the standard of living and the lifestyle wasn't very high and not very luxurious.
Yeah.
You moved to Canada, and then shortly after you decide to move to a country, or you explore the options to move to a country that's perceived to be third world or close to third world or completely unknown and not at the same level, right? Like GDP and standard of living and opportunities. So this is where it's like, I'm trying to figure out, like, how much time, did you spend in Canada, and when did you realize that you weren't happy, or maybe you were happy, but how much time, went by until you knew, okay, I need to keep moving?
So I got my Canadian permanent residency after 2 years of living in Canada. I had a construction job. I work in a construction company.
Yeah.
And because of the construction company, I was able to get my permanent residency. And I clearly remember, back then, as soon as you get your permanent residency, you know exactly that, okay, in 2 years, I can apply for my citizenship. And you start thinking, do I want to stay in Canada? Because when you get your residency, it's the first time when you feel safe.
It's like the first big sense of relief.
Yes. And then you're in a safe zone. Now you can do whatever you want.
Yeah.
You don't need to think about your visas.
So that was a good feeling at the time.
100%.
Yeah.
And I was thinking, do I want to stay in Canada? And I remember clearly a feeling of, the first time when I came to Canada, even 5 years ago, it was different Canada than Canada now. I was feeling the difference between, like, every month.
Interesting.
Like something is changing. The grocery, like, the prices are going up and the salaries are the same. I felt like country is not moving in the right direction.
So that's very interesting, because generally Canada is known as, an immigration country, land of opportunities, and for someone to come from a war-torn country to then explore the option of, okay, Latin America in general, right? For never mind the specific countries. That's very interesting. So when exactly did you know? Because you said Colombia was on top of your list.
Yeah.
So how did you know And I think this is very applicable to a lot of people right now who are trying to find answers. They're trying to find solutions. They're trying to figure out, like, where do I go? Where is it safe? Where is it stable? Where are there opportunities? Where am I welcomed? Where can I maybe start a business or just have a decent life, right? So when were you able to make the decision, like Colombia versus Paraguay versus maybe other options? I'm sure you researched other countries in the meantime, right? So at what point did you know, okay, Colombia moved, from the top of your list down a little bit down and Paraguay moved up?
You can realize which country you want to move to only based on your experience. So it worked for me. I traveled to different countries. I went to Guatemala, I went to Mexico, Brazil, Peru, Argentina. Yes, that's it. And just by comparison,
Okay.
For example, why I chose Paraguay is that there are lots of reasons. One of the reasons is Paraguay is growing very fast. I think last year it was the second country in Latin America based on growth, GDP growth.
Yeah.
It's one of the things. The second one is the immigration system. It's quite easy to get the temporary residency and then apply for your permanent residency in 2 years. Also the culture. I'm a fan of yerba mate, the drink we're having right now.
Yeah, I'm getting a lot of yerba mate when you're around.
Yeah.
So let me jump in real quick and sorry to interrupt, but so you mentioned immigration, right? You said it was easy or straightforward. So can you give our listeners an idea, like how much did you have to invest? Like what was required? What was the cost roughly for you to get into the system, and also maybe the timelines, like how quickly did you get processed? How was the experience with the government? Was it difficult? Did they give you did you give you a hard time? Was there a lot of red tape? Give us a little bit of a summary, if you don't mind.
So in order to apply for your temporary residency, everything you need to have is the police certificate, apostilled, your birth certificate.
So apostilled means it's verified or authorized
by the government.
Okay, by government agency, they verify that it's a legal document. They put the stamp on it, and so it's not a difficult thing to get.
Exactly.
Okay.
Not really.
Okay. So that's the RCMP police report from Canada?
Yeah.
Did you have to provide one from Ukraine as well?
Yes.
You did?
I ordered from Ukraine, exactly.
Oh, okay.
From Ukraine to Paraguay.
And even though there was war, they still provided you with that?
Of course.
Really?
Yeah.
You say of course, right? If I'm the government and I'm at war and I need young men to fight for me, I wouldn't give you a police certificate. So I'm surprised.
I think you know what?
Or was it like through the embassy?
My parents took it.
Okay.
I think my parents helped me.
Wow, that's great.
Yeah.
So without the Ukrainian police certificate, would you have been able to move here? Or get your...
You know what? I used my Canadian police certificate.
Okay.
So you need to take your police certificate in the countries where you've spent 5 years or more.
Oh,
the last 5 years. The last 5 years, yeah.
So you just...
Yeah, so it was like
made the cut.
I had my Canadian police report and Ukrainian birth certificate.
So, and I'm not trying to sidetrack you, get sidetracked, but so at my prime, when I was living in different countries every year, I would have had a really difficult time because like the last 5 years. So this is important for listeners to know. The last 5 years, wherever you lived, you need to provide a apostilled police certificate, right?
I think so. It depends. It depends how much time you spend. If you're traveling, but you spend the majority of your time in one specific country or two specific countries, so probably you need to get from these two countries. Okay,
and then what else did you have to provide? And
I think your passport. You need to have either, like, if you don't need a visa to Paraguay, you just bring your passport. Or if you need a visa, for example, if you are one of the countries that requires visa, you just get your visa, get your passport, and come here, and then you can apply. I don't know the exceptions. I believe there are countries who cannot apply for the residency.
Probably a lot of countries.
Yeah, so you need to.
But for you, it was for you it was relatively easy.
Yeah.
So and then did you have to provide like a long form birth certificate?
Just regular
birth certificate? Okay.
Yeah, and I remember I ordered both in Spanish and English and Ukrainian, I believe.
Okay. So yeah, for Canadians, I had to provide a long form birth certificate. So if you don't have that, you just go online, you order it. It's $40. They mail it directly to you, and then get it apostilled, right? And then, okay, what type of investment did you have to make? What did you have to buy? Like, what was the cost? Like health checks, like anything like that?
A part of the flight tickets, the accommodation, you can do this whole process by yourself, but I really recommend you to use the services of the companies who can help you in this journey. The range of the prices are beginning from $1,500 until $3,000. It depends on your origin. For example, I know that I remember the guy from South Korea. He wanted to get his temporary residency in Paraguay.
Okay.
And I remember, I think he paid $10,000 because for him, it's much more complicated.
Okay.
So I believe if you're from a good country, if you're European or North American or even Latin, it's much easier for you. But there are some countries that you need to have a help of the lawyer who can help you with your story, right?
Yeah, of course. So, okay, and any investments that you had to make?
No, that's it.
No investment.
That's it.
So,
you just come here and apply.
What about health checks or?
I don't remember.
No. Okay.
I don't think so.
So yeah, there is none. At least not yet. Paraguay right now, even though they are starting to make some changes, some smaller changes, it is one of the most straightforward and easiest residency programs out there, right?
Yeah.
So you took advantage of that. And so that was a big part of the decision making, right? Because we can go back to what we were talking about before, is like, how did you make the decision between, Colombia, Paraguay, or any other countries, right?
Yeah.
So this whole process that you just described, that was a big part of the decision making, right? And how did it go for you? Like,
I'm happy here.
So no, but I mean the immigration process was smooth.
I think it depends on the company, right? I chose the company. I'm not gonna tell the name yet.
Yes. It happens to be the same one that I used.
Yes, because you recommended it. Yeah.
That's good. That's good.
It's a good company.
Yeah.
I cannot complain.
Absolutely.
And it was very fast. Communication was good.
Professional.
Professional. So if you choose the right company, you're stress-free.
Yeah.
You even, like, in my case, I sent all my documents directly to their office. So
in advance, right?
In advance. So when I came here, they already prepared everything.
Yeah.
They done all the preparation for myself, and the whole, like, application process took me 1 day. So first you go to immigration office. You kind of apply for your temporary residency over there. Make an application.
So, but someone from the company, like, accommodated you or picked you up or
No, I did by myself.
Okay.
I think if you ask them, they can provide, like any company, if you ask them, they can provide this service. They can take you from the airport, bring you to the hotel, maybe show you the city, something like that.
Yeah.
Depends what you want, right? But in general, even though Paraguay is a third world country, You can order Uber.
But is it though? Is it I don't think it is. It doesn't feel like it.
It depends on the zone, right? It depends where you are.
Maybe someone at home can look this up, because we should probably know this, but I have a very strong doubts it would be labeled as a third world country.
I believe how the country evolves, right?
Mm.
In the third world country appear bubbles, like we say, like high developed bubbles. The regions in the city when it's starting growing very fast, where the investments go, where the construction is working, and they build the high rises.
Of course. But like in the last few days, we've kind of seen it all. Like we went to certain neighborhoods together.
Absolutely.
Where you could experience like South America, what some poverty, some very basic living conditions.
Yeah.
But generally, from what I've seen, this is my second time here, and you can correct me if I'm wrong. Generally, that seems to be more of not an exception, but it's not like generally. I feel like it's the standard of living is much higher than what I expected. I expected more poverty. I expected more, rough conditions. But anyway, so to get back to your process and to your temporary residency, so you did all your homework. You were like pre-approved, so to speak.
Yeah.
And so at that point, when you arrived here, you had the certainty and the confidence that everything will go well.
I didn't know what to expect, right?
But from a paper, like from a process, like from a government perspective, you were pretty confident that it would work out, and it did, and very quickly, like in a day. Yeah, which is, I don't think people in the West can appreciate that, or maybe they don't understand it, but with all the red tape and bureaucracies in the West, right, in Canada or US, Germany, any of these countries, like to move to a new country and to get processed in one day, in my case, it was a day and a half.
Yeah.
That's very impressive.
But
it's very efficient.
You need to use this opportunity, right? Because it's not going to be like that in the future. You need to use these opportunities.
Because we're early. So, okay. And so to get back to, again, to the decision making. So I think, is there anything missing about your process that that you went through, or?
No, basically, like you need to be pre-approved, right?
Pre-approved
by the company.
Yes.
Maybe you need to bring something else. Depends where you're from.
Yeah, like let's say if you're married, you need marriage certificates.
Yeah,
if you're divorced, you probably need divorce certificates.
Yeah, or you have
lots of people.
You have kids, or you have kids. You need to, right?
If you bring the kids, if you don't bring the kids, then there's.
You just apply for yourself.
Yeah,
okay.
But yeah, lots of people divorced at home, so it would be applicable to them. But okay, so that's really straightforward, makes a ton of sense. So you got processed in a day. So knowing that the immigration process was relatively,
I'm gonna add. So you come to the immigration office, you apply there.
Okay.
And then in my case, in the second half of the day, I went to the Interpol office. Yeah. And then at the same day, I applied for my Sedula. So when you apply for your temporary residency, you get like a Precaria. It's like a so kind of like you already got your temporary residency, but it gives you like for half a year, and you apply for your Sedula, like for your identification
ID card. Yeah,
ID card. And technically, so you got your residency right away, but only with your ID you can later apply for your bank account, for like the phone plan. You can order the phone plan only with the Sedula.
Okay, so the Sedula is the key. It's your ID card, and that's what you need in order to.
You need to establish yourself. You need to order your Sedula right away, and you're gonna wait approximately like 2 or 3 months now.
But in your case, you went back to Canada.
Yeah.
To finalize paperwork and
citizenship and
citizenship
just
application.
prepare myself for the trip back.
Okay. So I think you described the process very well. I think everybody gets the concept of how the immigration is process for expats is very friendly and open. So that takes me back to the decision making. So you knew, you were aware of that, you did your research, and what else made you decide between the two countries or potentially other countries?
Yeah. So I believe the majority of your viewers are gonna be European, right? Europeans who speak
background or North American,
who speak English, who are
Australians,
mostly Europeans descent, who are white.
Yes.
One of the reasons why I chose Paraguay is the I'm gonna say fitting in. What I mean about that, in Colombia, if you're European, if you're white, in the majority of the parts of Colombia, you're gonna be different. You're gonna look different. For example, of course, there are white Colombians, but they're a minority. And when I was in Colombia, I spent there in total like months and a half, I would say.
6 weeks.
Yeah, in different parts of Colombia.
Okay.
You always feel like you're different. Even when you speak fluent Spanish, you always attract attention.
I see.
You're always going to be different. You always feel like people are looking at you. Yeah, and
I know that feeling.
You feel like you're different. Like you're not from here.
Yeah.
Of course, you get used to it, but in the subconscious, you feel like you don't feel comfortable.
Yeah.
Especially in Latin America, it's more dangerous for you when you're, say, like European, because it's not safe in all the parts of South America.
Okay.
And when I came here, I felt like a part of society very fast. Because, for example, Paraguay, it's a mixture of Guarani people, the indigenous people, and Spanish. So they all look white with the dark features. And you could be Paraguayan because there are lots of Paraguayans with German descent. I can be Paraguayan because in the south there are Paraguayans with Ukrainian descent. So it looks very European. You always gonna go. You always want to go to the country where you feel like you're a part of society. And in Colombia, I felt like I'm always gonna be a gringo. They're always gonna perceive me like a foreigner. But people in Paraguay, they're so welcoming, they're so open, because they are a mixture of Spanish and Paraguay, Spanish and Guaranese, German Guaranese. Everybody, it's like Brazil, everybody can be Brazilian, everybody can be a Paraguayan to some extent, right? That's
important. So basically during the 6 weeks roughly in Colombia, compared to your time here, you just felt more welcomed, you felt more comfortable, safer, and just a little bit more of a connection.
100%. And if we're gonna say economically, it's a little bit harder to get the residency in Colombia, and the taxes there are horrible.
Okay.
So you get taxed by the income you make outside the Colombia. And
okay.
So especially if you have lots of income outside of the country, you have real estate, you have investments, you will need to pay taxes. And so short term, of course, Colombia is a beautiful country. I would like to live there. It's one of the best countries in the world. Colombia, Brazil. But if you're gonna think long term, where you want to create your base, where you want to find a second home, if you're not from here, this is Paraguay. This is the country which is growing, where you grow together with the country, where you feel safe, where you feel welcomed, where You just live happily.
And you felt that relatively, or it's not just a feeling, but you identified that very quickly when you came here.
It's very, very easy to make friends, especially if you speak a little bit of Spanish.
Well, yeah. So that's one benefit that you have compared to most people I know. Is how many languages do you speak again?
Fluently 5.
Five. Okay, that's crazy. So you're a polyglot, basically.
Probably, yeah.
So that's very helpful when you are looking for a new country to move to, and for so that's also very impressive, obviously. So what are the other 4 languages? So or other 3? So English, obviously.
Yeah, Spanish, Portuguese, Ukrainian, and Russian. Ukrainian, Russian are my 2 native languages. And I learned English, and in Canada, instead of learning French, I learned Spanish and then Portuguese.
Very smart. Very smart.
Thank you, sir.
French is, no offense to anyone out there, but French is not as valuable as Spanish, especially not in the Americas.
Yeah.
Right? So yeah, that's great. So, and then were there any other factors or indicators where you knew very clearly, okay, Paraguay is the way to go?
The quality of foreigners who are coming to Paraguay.
Okay.
For example, if you're gonna say Colombia, right? It's a very touristy place right now. Lots of foreigners are coming to Colombia.
Yeah.
Either short term or long term. But by the news, you're gonna hear that foreigners are being killed in Colombia. Foreigners are coming to Medellin, Bogota. They get robbed. They mostly coming to party,
they get scoped.
Yeah, they get scoped.
Scolopamine.
Yeah, for the girls, to party.
Yeah.
Party. So basically, if you're gonna ask every foreigner who's going to Colombia, he's going there like short term or medium term, but
so
not always to do good stuff.
So almost like the wrong reasons, or maybe not right or wrong, but it's a short-term mindset, and it's not really about building something.
Immediate gratification, yeah.
Yeah. So it's almost like a long midterm vacation, never-ending vacation. Yeah. I mean, I'm sure there are, and I actually know a few that I've met over the last few years. There are good expats that move to Colombia to build something, and they are successful, and they love it there. But I understand what you're saying. So what does that compare to? How does that compare to what you've experienced and what you're seeing here in Paraguay?
So Paraguay is not as exciting as, for example, Colombia, right? If you're gonna compare with Colombia, but instead you have a sense of peace in your mind. You feel peaceful here because it's pretty safe, and the culture here is, they appreciate the sense of family, like friendship. They enjoy life more, right? They don't rush. There's no like hustle culture.
Yeah.
They know how to enjoy the life and just have a good have a good life.
And what about the the quality of expats, or the quality of immigrants, right, that are coming here?
So mostly, all the foreigners I met, I never met a bad one that came here just to party or
for the wrong reasons.
For the wrong reasons, Even when tourists come here short term, it's mostly like it's one of the destinations, Paraguay, and it's never something that I came here directly from US to party a couple of weeks, and because it's not very touristy, because there is no such
tourist attractions.
Tourist attractions. Yeah,
there are tourist attractions, but they're not. I know what you mean. If anything, what Paraguay has to offer is more of like natural beauty, there's monuments, there's national parks and stuff like that, but
Yeah.
there's no theme parks, there's no brothels, there's no huge clubs. I mean, there's definitely a nightlife.
Yeah.
There's
a good
definitely a
nightlife here.
nightlife here and a party scene, but it's not known for that, and it's not what Paraguay is about. But to maybe refine a little bit the quality of immigrants or the quality of expats, what else stands out between the people here, where I think what you're saying is you feel more aligned and you feel more comfortable, and also I think maybe you said it's not as exciting, right, as maybe Colombia is on paper or in the media, but as far as the quality of immigrants or expats is concerned, like what else is it that like made you feel like aligned and connected?
Mostly, I feel like mostly ambitious people are coming to Paraguay, right? Who have some business online, or they want to open the business here, or they want to invest. So the people who think long term, who want to have a like a plan B, maybe open the residency, go back to their country, but to have a choice, right? To have an option in the future to come back, because Paraguay right now is very famous for its growth. That Paraguay is growing, and the unstable situation in the world is saying that you need to have multiple options. You cannot rely on your own country.
Yeah.
For example, even if you're European, there's a crisis in Europe with immigration, with the war, economic crisis in both Canada and the United States. So we reached the time in the world where everything can happen.
Yes.
Either World War III or the nuclear war or wherever, and you need to have a second option. And Paraguay is located in the heart of Latin America. So it's landlocked. There are lots of disadvantages, but one of the advantages is that it's protected. It's in sight, right?
Yeah.
And it's self-sufficient. There is a
that's
electro-hydro station.
Yeah.
There are lots of food.
Hundreds of years of water reserves.
Absolutely. Rivers.
Very fertile land.
The best meat.
Quality in the world. Of beef is world class, but potentially top in the world.
Yeah. So no matter what happens in the world, people in Paraguay are gonna survive. When there is gonna be a big, huge crisis in the world, here you still can have a good life, no matter what happens. Of course, Paraguay is dependent on different countries, other countries, neighbors, but in general, it's self-sufficient.
Yeah, I agree, 100%.
There's a long-term safety here.
So, okay, yeah. I mean, we could talk about. I think we could talk about the benefits of living in Paraguay for there's more to talk about, but more importantly, to get back to your story, right? Because it's all about Denys and your story, because I find it very fascinating. So you've only been here for 3 weeks.
First time 3 weeks, and
correct.
This time was
okay,
months and a half already.
Okay, so I'm sensationalizing the story, but you've moved here 3 weeks ago.
Yeah,
and you've not only changed countries multiple times now in a short period of time, but now you've also started a completely different career or path. So tell us what are you doing now and how are you enjoying it?
So I'm gonna tell you something that I believe it's not destiny, but what I've done in life, it all brought me here, what I'm doing right now. So my education, I'm a physical therapist, and I'm been working as a personal trainer in Ukraine. But when I came to Canada, I had to work in construction to get my papers, and it was a high-paying job back then. So in Canada, I had experience of 3 years working in construction. Particularly, it was both residential and commercial construction. I was doing the metal roofs and siding, external part of the building.
Yeah.
So I had some experience in construction. And also I was working in services, in sales, because as a personal trainer, you need to sell your services.
Yeah.
I really like communications. So, and I was thinking back then, I started learning Spanish, and altogether construction, it's working with real estate and communications and sales. And then I started meeting you guys who were working in real estate. And I thought, I like that. So it combines everything. It's like you need to have some knowledge of like what is the building is made of, right?
Yeah.
To define the quality of the project, of the property, you need to have some knowledge in construction. Also communications, the sales. So altogether brought me to real estate. And I got a job here in the real estate office in Remax as a real estate agent.
Oh, interesting.
Because I spoke Spanish, English, Portuguese.
Polyglot.
I got the job very fast. Even though I didn't have clear experience in real estate sales, but all combined, I was already prepared for this field.
So you had or have a lot of the qualities that are needed to be in that position.
Yeah.
They were happy to give you an opportunity because they saw the potential, and yeah, but you know, you did get into one of the most, I'm trying to find the right word, one of the most prestigious or most successful brokerages in the country, right?
Yeah. Remax has the biggest share on the real estate market here in Paraguay.
So that's very impressive. So you've been there now for 3 weeks. I had the privilege of meeting your coworkers, and I was a part of a ceremony for you as a celebration, as I guess a celebration, token of appreciation. So I've seen the behind the scenes, life, and I really liked it. I thought it was really cool, and I can definitely recommend, if you ever have any questions about real estate in Paraguay or anything expat life in Paraguay, Denys would be a really good resource, and then he can also send you in the right direction.
You know that we hire people in Remax in our office. So if somebody has experience in real estate or who wants to start their career in real estate,
do they have to be a polyglot?
Not like I think if recommended if you speak in Spanish, in Portuguese, in English, right?
Yeah.
Like you need, to work in the office here, mostly because you work with the foreigners and Paraguayans, you need to be fluent.
So at least fluent in Spanish or almost fluent in Spanish.
Yes, Spanish and English. And you want to start your career in real estate? Let me know, and see, I can.
Yeah. No, of course.
I can offer a job in real estate if someone wants.
Yeah, that's really cool. And I've seen, we went out, for a day, we looked at some listings, we talked to some clients, we had a very interesting day a couple days ago, exploring different neighborhoods and properties, and Paraguay is definitely very unique, very interesting place. And I can definitely see how, the path that you chose is a promising path, and there's definitely a lot of opportunities. So you're definitely onto something, to say the least. And so one other thing I wanted to ask you about, because, you've made all these moves, you're here, and even though you haven't been here for a very long time, but to me, it feels like, and it seems like you've settled in so quickly. So maybe you can tell, the listeners at home that are maybe, they're hesitating, they're overanalyzing, they're nervous, they're worried, right? Maybe you can tell them a little bit about like, what are your thoughts on the future of, for example, the West or Canada, the future of Paraguay, and what you recommend, based on your experience, what do you recommend to them,
Yeah, I believe there are like cycles in the world, like in life. At first, the country grows, then there's a fall, like Roman Empire, or for example, as we see like in Europe and North American, like Canada and US. So you always want to stay in the country. You always want to be in the country that is on the rise, right?
If you can.
If you can, but now you have this opportunity. And no matter what happens in the world, hopefully things in Europe are gonna settle down, and Canada is gonna go back in track. That is, for now, it's like almost impossible. It's harder to say that, but Paraguay has a good future because I'm gonna say something because of the war in the past, because like the Triple Alliance, there was 100 years ago or even more, the war between Paraguay and Paraguay fought Brazil, Uruguay, and Argentina. Paraguay was destroyed. 90% of male population were dead.
Yeah.
That's why Paraguay was so late, was like underdeveloped, right? Because it was destroyed.
Pretty much wiped out.
Yeah.
Like if you wipe out 90% of the male population of a country,
who built the country?
Yeah, that will set you back significantly,
yes.
right?
So all this time, Paraguay was like the bottom comparing to other Latin American countries
for a very long time.
But what happens right now? The crisis in Brazil, the crisis in Argentina, in Chile, like in the world, in Latin America. Right now, Paraguay is the center with the one of the stable economies in Latin America.
Yeah.
And people from all these countries around Paraguay are starting investing in Paraguay because of like the stability, right? Because they understand that their countries are going down and they're looking for the way of securing their money, securing their resources.
Yeah. That's.
I believe Paraguay is gonna stay one of the stablest kind of economies, and with the government who is more conservative.
Yeah. I mean, everything you said, I agree. It all makes sense. And here, Macro Expat Podcast, Macro Expat, we're all about freedom, and helping people find freedom, and to just add to what you just said. In general, I feel like there's a sense of freedom here that you don't have in many other countries. Also, Paraguay is one of those places where you can do a lot of research and watch YouTube videos and read. When you come here and when you spend time here, you do understand to a certain degree that the relationship between the government and the people, it's a different relationship than, or it's a different style compared to, let's say, socialist Canada or other countries that have been in a socialist system for a long time. It just feels more free. The government here, for the most part, they leave the people alone.
Yeah, that's right.
And if you haven't watched an interview with the President Peña, right? Is his name, last name? Peña. Go on YouTube, look it up. Young, energetic, intellectual, sophisticated guy, experience in banking, experienced economist. And these are people like running a country, not from the bottom up, but from, not from scratch, but from a decent level. and now attracting all the right people, attracting people like Denys, attracting other expats that are entrepreneurial, business-minded, libertarian, free-thinking, Bitcoiners, whatever. I mean, there's a wide variety, but it definitely, there's a sense of freedom here. You know, that's what I appreciate that a lot. I don't want to live in a country where the government is involved in every single aspect of my life, dictating everything to me. You can't do this, you can't do that. This closes at that time. Like, I mean, all these restrictions, all these permits, you have to ask for permission for everything. Paraguay is not perfect. I think you would agree with me.
100%, yeah.
There's no perfect country or solution, but it just feels right to be here, right? Would you say that's a correct assessment?
You have this feeling that the country is growing. So like all the investments, the construction is building up. You feel like more and more people are coming and everybody is happy, just happy to be here.
Yeah. And it's a relationship where it's a win-win situation, right? That's kind of my take. And I see it with you, right? Like, I look at you and you're winning, and if you win as a immigrant or expat and you're productive and you're producing, then the government wins too, right? Because you're making the country a better place. So it's a win-win relationship where in other countries and most of the Western countries right now, I just don't see that anymore, and I don't know.
The right values. People here, they appreciate human connections more than just a paycheck, just money. Because if you like to be truly happy and satisfied, you need to have strong human connections. You need to have your friends, your family, your romantic relationships. In Canada and in developed countries, they prioritize making money more than enjoying the life. And here it's very easy to make friends. It's very easy because people are so open.
Yeah.
It's almost impossible to be miserable here because people around you are happy and they support you. No, for example, if you're just a foreigner, you walk in the street, it's so easy to start a conversation with random people. And people in the streets and everywhere, they're happy to help you. They're curious about you. There's no racism. There's like sense of community, sense of unity. For example, Paraguay right now is playing. So Paraguay lost to USA like a couple of days ago, but people are people are united. For example, we can see in Europe and other developed countries, people are so separated. There's
divided.
They're divided. But
here it's not like that.
No matter where you're from, if you're here, you feel like you have this part of. You feel like Paraguayan, you know. Even maybe you don't speak Spanish, you feel like you're part of the country. Just by being here, just by staying, living here, you're already Paraguayan.
No, I agree.
You feel like at home.
I agree. And well, I'm definitely very happy for you. I'm excited for you. I can see, I can see the trend, the positive outlook. And speaking of that, because we're starting to run a little bit out of time, what are your goals? Like personal goals, professional goals here in Asuncion in Paraguay for the near future, being at one of the most prestigious, one of the most successful brokerages, in the country. Where do you see yourself in the near future? And and how could you help someone who maybe thinks to themselves like, you know what, I want to be like Denys. I want to come and check out Paraguay. I want to, maybe work in real estate or invest in real estate or be part of something, like you said, that's growing, that's heading in the right direction.
Okay, so my professional goals is that I work as a real estate agent right now. My goal is to be #1 real estate agent in my office and top 10, top 20 in whole of the country, as well as I would like to become an investor. I hope soon I can purchase my first apartment or a piece of land. I believe Paraguay is a country of the future, and I'm gonna try to invest all the money I make investing in Paraguay, buying something, because everything is growing and everything is getting more expensive. If you're entrepreneur, here you can find lots of opportunities, lots of stuff that is not developed yet, especially in construction. Because I already have some experience in construction, I would like to open the company, for example, who can fill up a gap in construction, because there are lots of demand. No matter what you do, is it like drywall or roofing or insulation, any kind of jobs, you can open the business and make money and create a successful company. So construction, investments, real estate, and for now, just live a happy life, improve myself, drink yerba mate.
Eat some beef on a daily basis. Some clean beef.
Drink yerba mate.
Yeah, I'm almost maxing out on mate today. But yeah, no, that's amazing, and like I said before, I'm super pumped for you. I can see where you're going, and we will certainly be in touch. There's no question about that. And then, so the last two things I wanted to touch on is basically
how it can help.
So the free resource that you are offering to the listeners, like what is the free resource that you're offering, and how can people find you? How can they connect with you? How can they get in touch with you?
So I'm gonna leave my WhatsApp in the description, and also my Instagram, and I provide 20-minute free consultation for everyone.
Yeah, what's your Instagram hashtag? Or
Merkulov.Denys 13. Okay. I'm gonna leave it in the description.
It will be documented.
I'm gonna leave it in the description. Yes.
Clickable.
So I provide 20 minutes free consultation for everyone who wants, and also I'm gonna provide a discount for a temporary residency services, because I cooperate with the firm who provides the residency services. The temporary and permanent residency. So for somebody who is looking for a good, reliable immigration company, text me. I'm gonna help you with
set them up with a discount.
Absolutely.
And we're not going to get too deep into it, but what else is in, like, what other services are included or not included? What other services are available to someone that wants to get the residency? So like the tax ID, the driver's license.
The tax ID. The driver's license.
Bank account.
And in general, just information about Paraguay, where it's better to stay,
the neighborhoods,
what to
suburbs
do.
And stuff.
I can recommend the events to visit here in Asuncion, the groups. There's a big expat community, and when you come to Paraguay, you don't want to stay alone. There are lots of people like you who are looking for a good environment.
So if you contact Denys, you can kickstart your journey. Basically. And if you need like residency services, Denys can help you. If
real estate, if you want to invest, rent an apartment. If you're looking for something short term.
No, we're not interested in short term.
Long term.
No, we only do long term.
Yes.
No, but yeah, absolutely. Okay. Yeah, and then just to kind of finish off, do you have any last words of advice? Because you what you're doing is special. It's, I guess you have to have some balls, so to speak. Do you have any last words of advice to people that are like hesitating, or maybe like you, they've identified different countries and they're comparing? Anything that you can share that will maybe help them?
So I would like to tell something for people who are thinking about moving to Paraguay or coming here or applying for the residency. Now is the time, because the door is opened, but for now it's still easy to get residency here, still easy to invest, buy something here, start your life. But with the time, it's going to be harder. So if you don't do this first step, you may regret in the future, because people, like countries, are closing. They enforce the immigration systems. Is getting harder to get in the country. So it's like a Bitcoin in 2012. You heard something that you need to buy it, you need to take a look, right?
Yeah.
But most of the people just ignore it.
Yeah.
And then in 5-10 years, they're like, I
wish I had.
Yeah, so start with something small. At least come here and check it out.
Yeah.
But prepare your documents. It doesn't cost so much. The entry is so low.
Yeah.
Right? Even though like it's in Latin America, maybe it's a little bit far, but it's worth it.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Just get your temporary residency, then get a permanent residency. And even if you're not gonna live here long term, you're gonna have a plan B. You're gonna know that no matter what happens in the world, you have a second home, second option.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's very valuable advice in 2026.
Yeah.
No doubt about it. Denys, it was a pleasure to have you on the show. And I can guarantee you will be invited back, because there's more to talk about.
Hopefully.
There's more to talk about. Well, I personally, I love real estate, and I would love to dig deeper into what's going on in the streets. What are you seeing? What are the trends? What are expats looking for? How are the local expats reacting to that?
Yeah.
Not local expats, but the locals. But that's for the next show.
Yeah.
So
thank you very much for Christian for inviting me. Thank you.
Thanks, man.
Thank you everybody for watching this podcast.
Peace.
Peace.